So here we go. 3 hours to digest. Who's that? Vaibhav. 3 hours to digest what has been the worst loss for Indian cricket in a long, long time. I wouldn't say the worst loss ever because there have been pretty pathetic losses in the past. But in the last 20 odd years, last 30 odd years, this will certainly rank as one of the worst defeats that India has encountered. Joining me, our full team, Shubhan will also join. Gargi, if you could request Shubhan to join as well, please. Ishan back from the Wankhede, Atreo back from the Wankhede, Vaibhav, Gargi, myself, Shubhan, Bharat will also join. So we'll have our full house, and we will not want to be sensationalist. It is very easy to say throw Rohit out, throw Virat out, throw X out, Y out. That is not going to happen, and it should not happen. uh, the Australia team is announced. The question we are asking ourselves: can India turn it around? And if India does have to turn it around, where does it start? Because this 3-0 is done and dusted. None of us, even if we sort of cry from the rooftop and start shouting, can we undo this result? So can't the team. So it is essential to take stock, introspect, learn from the mistakes, and then think where can we change things around. I will actually start with Shubhan. He's still possibly in that press box. He was part of that Rohit Sharma press conference. Then I'll go to Atre and Ishan, who were both at the ground. Shubhan, the question we are asking: can India turn things around? Because this is now done and dusted. 3-0 can never be wiped out, but sport always gives you a second chance. 8-0 in 2011-12, things changed, right? 2023, things changed in 24. Plenty of times we have seen this happen, things do change. Two specific questions. Sarfaraz Khan doesn't inspire any confidence in me. Abhimanyu Ishwaran doesn't inspire any confidence in me at the top of the order. Do you want to sort of think keeping someone like Sai Sudarshan back in Australia? Is he the deal? Because clearly the batting has to be Gill, Sudarshan, Pant, and Jaiswal as the kind of core going forward. Because Sarfaraz doesn't, at least so far from what I've seen, look the part. Shubhan, can we turn things around?
Gauriya, more than Sarfaraz or Sai Sudarshan or Abhimanyu Ishwaran, I think it's about time we point our fingers towards the senior batters. I think this is where the problem starts. Because if you look at our top four, our top four, two of the most senior most batters are there, and they have averaged what 15, 12 in this entire series, 96 runs, 91 runs, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli respectively in this series. Where does how will the youngsters get confidence or get inspiration if two of your most senior most batters are struggling, and they have struggled a lot in this series by pace, by spin, by pace in Bangalore, by spin in Pune, and here in Mumbai. I think, you talked about, can we turn things around? Of course we can, but in the larger scheme of things, if we talk about the WTC final, India now need 4 wins and 1 draw out of 5 tests in Australia. In Australia, that is something. I think WTC final is something we should forget now. We are not qualifying for the WTC final if we are talking realistically, if we are talking on practical base. What happened in Mumbai? What happened in Pune, what happened in Bangalore. New Zealand batters who are not used to these conditions, they play on grass wickets in back in home. They have applied themselves. They have put a price on their wickets. And what our batters do after every 6 deliveries, after every 7 deliveries, after eight or 10 dots, what they do, they try to play their release shots. Not only Rohit or Virat, every one of them. Yashasvi Jaiswal reverse sweeping in a critical condition. Ravichandran Ashwin, who is arguably the most experienced player in this lineup, tried to reverse sweep. Sarfaraz Khan just smacked the full toss, swept the full toss right into the hands of the deep square leg. I think this is something which is, see, these all players are technically very sound. They know their game. They have their own ways of scoring runs. But application or being there out there putting a price on their wickets is not something which we have witnessed in this series. And come Australia, I think Pat Cummins, Josh Hazelwood, Mitchell Stark, Scott Boland, Nathan Lyon, they will be licking their lips looking at the condition of this Indian lineup. We can bring in Sai Sudarshan, we can bring in Abhimanyu Ishwaran, we can change the entire batting unit. But the mentality of the current crop of players or the current group which is playing, be it experienced or youngsters, is it right for Test cricket? Is what I want to ask. And I think, in my opinion, it is not right for Test cricket.
Rohit Juglan is in a car, and I think there is a guitar behind him. Clearly, he's playing music to himself to forget the pain. Good, good, good. Something has to be done. Therapeutic,
No,
therapeutic,
no, no,
Rohit
no,
Juglan. Then what?
no, 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 Gautam. That's not a guitar. That's a pillow cover kind of thing. And
Ah, good. So you are
kept it.
escaping. You are escaping from where you are to forget the pain, is it?
No, no, no. Going for the final visa work that I told you, about that Australia visa work. Coming back to what had happened today, and not only today, as Shubhanda rightly mentioned, that it's not about Mumbai, it's not about Pune, it's not about Bengaluru. It's about last 4 to 5 years. It's not a very new thing in Indian cricket that we can't play spin anymore. It's not like that. Virat Kohli is suddenly very much tentative against the left arm spinners, or Rohit Sharma getting those initial runs and then getting out, in the poorest manner in the cricket field. It's not we are seeing this in a very recent time. No, and especially I just want to ask this question: that why, if we can't play spin, who is planning to have a wicket like this, have a pitch like this, what we had in Pune, and after that in Mumbai? If we know that these batters can't play spin really well, then why don't they know? And why Gautam Gambhir always come up with this, that, oh no, big, we can't play spin because, we are very much playing T20 nowadays. So, the batters play after 6 or 7 ball, they are playing a release shot. Why they are saying like that? Why don't they accept that we can't able to play spin? We can't, we don't have focus, in playing the domestic
Rohit,
cricket.
this is a question that Athrev asked
Yeah,
exactly on these lines at the end of the
mm,
match. I mean, in our post-match show. So on that note, let me go to Athrev. Athrev, very
yeah,
valid point from you and Rohit, both of you. Rohit is asking now. You had asked the same question. So I'm trying to see solutions. We can keep ranting. Why not? Why not? Why this? Why this? We can keep ranting. It will not get us back anywhere. That is why I started with, can we turn things around? So my solution, my formula is, play on good wickets, play home series on good batting wickets, because good batting wickets will get the confidence back of our batters. That is the only solution as far as I'm concerned on home soil, is to play on good batting decks. That is when these guys will start scoring again, the confidence will be back, the spinners will come into play, quality spinners will come into play. And if you also think of someone like an Umesh Yadav, hugely successful in Indian conditions. They know those conditions, good batting decks, not turners, not a kind of a curated pitch. Athrev.
Well, I will look back. I don't want to look back at this series anymore because we have discussed this a number of times. And this pitch problem we have been talking about since the Pune experience. I'll just go back to 2021. Ajaz Patel taking 10 wickets at the Wankhede Stadium. And do you remember what happened after that? Umesh Yadav and Mohammed Siraj ripped New Zealand apart. In 6 overs of hostile fast bowling, New Zealand were reduced to 22 for 4 or something. So that is where our strength lies. I mean, playing on normal conditions, not exactly overly relying on spin. Number one. I mean, let's start. I mean, since we have discussed this at length, I will not go back to this series anymore. As Boria said, I mean, we will look forward to the Australia series, and whether India can do better, I would say yes, they can definitely do better. And why do I say this? Because first reason is they will not have any control over pitch preparation. The team's management, the think tank, they will not think about the pitch because it's beyond their control over there. And it will help India once they get away from this. From this humiliating experience and spend some time in some other country and get away from all the madness that goes around cricket in our country. It will possibly help them to regroup and rethink and get back to their own ways. They are not bad players. I mean, despite this humiliating defeat, I keep insisting they are not bad players. Some of them are beyond their prime. Yes, there are concerning points like Rohit Sharma's lack of runs, yes, but in Australia, Indians have done well in the past last two tours, and I see. And with the India A side playing there at this moment, there could possibly be reinforcements into this test squad also. We can't rule that out. So it's not necessary as if Sarfaraz Khan or Abhimanyu Ishwaran will have to be the automatic choices. So there is room to, try out new faces. It's a new series. I mean, let them get away from this. Let the things happen. I mean, Brazil lost 7-1 at home against Germany in the World Cup semi-final. Did they stop playing football after that? They didn't, right?
Listen,
So
one thing has to be said. This is a poor defeat, a horrible defeat, a horrendous defeat. All said and done, things have happened in sport. India going to Australia and beating Australia with a seven-member depleted side also was similar to Australia compared to what we are witnessing now. GABA was breached. If you think of Australia, they should have won that after 36 all out. That series was done. 4-0 Australia. Everybody said Australia will win. Australia lost that series to India. So face it, people have lost, and that is why it is sport. Otherwise, it would not be sport. It would be real, not real. There would be multiple takes. Shah Rukh Khan wants 10 takes, he can get 10 takes. Rohit Sharma can't. Virat Kohli can't. You have to face it. That is why it is sport. Bharat Ramraj, the question that Atreyu mentioned, and the point that he mentioned, that India will not have a say in the preparation of pitches. Very valid point. Because of that, you have to play on what is there on offer. And if I see that, yes, it is an inexperienced attack, but even in 21, it was an inexperienced attack. India stood up without a Bumrah, who did not play that Gaba. Shardul Thakur and Mohammed Siraj stood up. Natrajan stood up. So there is evidence in the past of unfancied bowling attacks standing up. And this Australia isn't the invincible Australia of the Ponting era. So Bharat Ramraj, do you see a kind of turnaround? Because I do see India playing better cricket in Australia compared to what we have played on home soil. Bharat.
Yeah, I guess one point during the 2020-21 series was Bharat Tarun was the bowling coach. So what I noticed during that series was after every session, after every two sessions, even the young bowlers, Netrajan or Shardul Thakur or some of them were correcting their lens. For example, Netrajan was going for runs in the second session or something on those lines at Gabba. Then there's a small break, and next moment I'm seeing Netrajan bowling short of length, just bowling the channel, and he ended up getting a couple more wickets. So I think the bowling coach is a huge factor here. Morne Morkel, tall fast bowler, tall hit the deck fast bowler. India have a couple of young tall bowlers in Harshit Rana and Prasidh Krishna. So he's the one I think will be in focus. If Morne Morkel gets it right in terms of the kind of lengths you have to bowl at different grounds, in terms of fast bowling mindset, especially someone like Prasidh Krishna needs it, because even in the A game he bowled really well, but every single time Australia batters went after him, he seemed to lose the plot. So it's very important. Morne Morkel's role, I think, is very important. So if he is able to ingrain some of the what can you say, fast bowling mindset about what lengths to bowl, about what gears you have to bowl in Australian conditions, then I think India have a hope with their attack. Supporting Jasprit Bumrah obviously doesn't need anything. He's someone all in one, and he knows what to do in
Okay.
Australian conditions.
Good point. Good point. I'll kind of add to that. Asim Hans, Rohit has not defended his batting approach today. He has clearly taken responsibility for what has happened and has said that it was his fault. So let's not kind of add to create a narrative which is not the narrative. That's all we are saying. We are calling spade a spade. Horrendous, yes, horrendous. But we are looking for solutions. That's what we are trying to look. And the point that Bharat made, let me add to that, because Bharat Arun is a friend of mine. And by the way, Bharat Arun is in hospital at the moment. So we wish him a speedy recovery. He's just had a surgery. Yesterday, I was having a long exchange with Bharat Arun about lengths in Australia. Because I tried calling and he said, Bori, I'm in hospital, had a surgery. So we were exchanging messages. Are you okay? He said, yes, but things are under control. So wish Bharat Arun a speedy recovery. But the point that I was trying to make is during the 2021 series of Australia, and Bharat only said this, we had many, many conversations on this. Suppose there was a bad session. During the next break, he would take the bowlers and he would ask them one simple question: did you want to bowl there? And if someone said, yes, I, at the top of my mark, I wanted to bowl exactly there. And he said, did you get your length right? Did you have your thought process in place and you wanted to bowl there? He said, yes, I did. Then the batter has hit me a good shot. He said, no problem, done. But and the moment the bowler said, no, I did not want to bowl there, and this is the issue, and they would show him on the video and it would get corrected. The lengths would get corrected, the problem would get sorted, and Bharat had his own way. Bharat is a unique guy. Bharat never tells a bowler, oh, you know what, that is a problem. Bharat will always start saying, you have bowled really well, but you know what, can you just do this? That's Bharat. And he said this to me. He said, take Atreyu. Atreyu has written for 35 years. Today, if I go and tell Atreyu, what are you writing? No, this is bad. Anyone, if someone comes to me and says this, my ego, I'll say, what are you talking about, boss? This is what I do. This is my job. I've done this for 30 years to the best of my ability, and I do it with passion and with commitment. Don't give me gyan. But if I go and say, Atreyu, will you consider this? My suggestion is your piece can get slightly better if you just think about this. The approach is very different, and automatically anyone who is saying it like that with humility, someone will say, yes, he might just have a point. That's what Bharat Arun did with the bowlers. Someone with Ishant Sharma's experience, someone with Mohammed Shami's experience, even Jasprit Bumrah's experience. That is why the Indian bowling unit, you must read the chapter on Bharat Arun and mission domination, because it's completely in the mind. It is in the mind. That chapter I loved writing when I did that book. Ishan Shahani, you were there at the Wankhede. I think there are mental demons. I think it is not about skill. It is about the word that Shubhayan used, application, and it is about mental demons. Ishan Shahane, because that's what we need to solve in Australia.
Bang on, Boryada. I think, it's all been mentioned here that this is a skillful group. It's not like this bunch of players lack the experience to, compete in a test match or come back from a test match. So it's not about the skill-based issue that was missing here, just a lack of application. And it hurt. I think a lot of fans over in the stadium as well, they were getting frustrated seeing the application that has been put in. When a couple of batters are set in, you want to try and hold on to your wicket as much as possible. When Rohit Sharma came out to bat, when he came out to open, you can take the aggressive intent. For sure you can. You can put the opposition under pressure. But you don't have to do that when it's not necessary per se. In doing that, he lost his wicket. And after that, obviously, there's a bunch of wickets that fell. Same with Safraz, same with Ashwin. So all of these are skillful players. It's just that a lack of application, which I'm quite surprised to say, because most of them are experienced. Rohit Sharma is experienced. Ashwin is experienced. Safraz probably isn't as experienced. But the other two, Rohit and Ashwin, are extremely experienced. They shouldn't have lost their wicket in that sense. So it's not the skill. It's not what they can bring to the table, because we all know what they can bring to the table exactly well. But it's just, why aren't they applying themselves enough is that major question. Is it pressure? It's not even pressure, Boryada, because most of these players have also played under severe pressure situations in the past as well. So it's not even about that. It's maybe just not applying themselves enough in that moment of what has to be done, how that game has to be played in that particular situation. And too many rash shots, Boryada, too many rash shots. And we've been seeing it from the first test itself. You're throwing away your wickets, you're just giving away your wickets. The Kiwi batters were so much better when it came to that. They were batting for longer sessions. They were at least trying to stay in the wicket for as long as possible. And that we didn't see with this Indian team whatsoever. This is exactly what cost them the test match, Boryada.
Gargi, one question that is essential here. I mean, you prepared a Turner, right? Fair enough. You prepared because it's your home conditions. You prepared Turner, slow wicket, whatever you want to call it. You've created it. You did not even use Mohammed Siraj for a single over. Then why didn't you go with four spinners? Go in. Your strength, right? Play it. In Australia will go in with four seamers. Four seamers and one Nathan Lyon. No one has stopped you from going in with four spinners. If you had gone in with Akshar Patel, he was also a batting option. Mohammed Siraj in the 2 innings played 3 balls. One night watchman, 1 ball, here 1 ball, gone, done, finished. That is Mohammed Siraj's contribution. Second innings did not bowl a single over. No one has asked you to go in with the conventional 2 fast bowler, 3 spinner theory. Then why? So the other thing is, when you are trying to create a wicket or preparing a deck, which is to your strengths, then go in with that team. Then why are you not going in with that team? So there were tactical issues which the team management also has to solve, not now, but also in Australia. You've got to get these calls right. Gargi Raut.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I was speaking of in the last show as well. That these were the tactical errors that really, destroyed India's chances in this series. And when it comes to the preparation of pitches, Shubhayan was giving us all the updates before the Mumbai match, and I remember he would tell us all on the show that certain things were very minute details were happening to create the perfect sort of pitch, but where is the advantage? This is a home series. How are you going in there on a ranked turner and you don't know how to bat on them? Where's the advantage is what I'm asking. When you're curating these specifically very specific pitches, where's the advantage for India? If you're creating ranked turners and you're not having any, you're going in with two spinners, what's the point there? Not bowling Mohammed Siraj. And the other thing which really threw me off the loop was the fact that in the press conference today, Rohit Sharma said that we don't decide on such things when it comes to preparing pitches. So what's really going on? I think that's one of the questions that also needs to be asked by what Rohit Sharma means by we don't decide on we don't decide in
Let me
advance.
go to
Yeah.
Shubhan on that. Let me go to Shubhan. What did he exactly say? Because the tweet that you had put out said against England we played on good wickets, but this one we as a team decided we wanted. What was the exact context and what did he say before I go to Vaibhav?
So the question what was asked was whether these turners are helping the Indian team or not. It was a very simple question, and surprisingly, Abhishek Nair and Gautam Gambhir in the build up to this test, they were very clear that we don't curate the pitches. It is the curators who do that, and we have no inputs whatsoever in terms of creating the wicket or manipulating the wicket. But Rohit said that it is us who decided on the wicket, so it was a bit contradictory in that way. The point what we are trying to say is, see, you can tell the curators or the curators themselves can create a wicket. Even in England, when the first couple of tests was a turner, then it started to become on a flatter side. A couple of tests, the first two tests they were turners, and then it started to flatten out as things progressed in the last three tests. But here it was turner from round one. Maybe they said that okay, Rishabh Pant is back, he can play good spin. Yashasvi can bat. Sarfaraz is a good player of spin, but ultimately all of them failed. All of them failed together. And playing spin is an art. When we were growing up, watching all the big five, Saurav, Sachin, Sehwag, Lakshman, Dravid, playing spin was an art, and we were very confident of our batters playing spin bowling. But right now we are in shambles. If we talk about technique, if we talk about spending time, and Will Young, who was the man of the player of the series in this entire series, he scored. He was the highest scorer, but he averaged only 26 before this. And the same question was asked that you look so compact, so solid. With your defense, with your stroke making, with your clarity of thoughts, and he said one very important thing, that when you are coming to India or to the subcontinent to bat in turners, you have to be very, very compact with your defense. If you don't trust your defense, then you won't succeed. If you have good sweeps, then it's a bonus. If you have good back foot cuts, then it's a bonus. But the most important thing is to have a compact defense. If you don't have that, you won't succeed in Asian conditions. And that is, I think, if a Kiwi is coming to India and giving us that lesson, then we can imagine what our batting condition is right now, or where our applicability is right now in terms of batting or playing in turners. And as you rightly mentioned, Boria, I think it is about time that we do away with turners and make flatter decks. You can play 5 days in Indian conditions. I don't think in these hot conditions, in a three-match series or five-match series, no overseas team will survive in these hot and humid conditions. It is not possible. Tire them out. Where is that grit? Tire the opposition out. Why do you want to finish the match in 2.5 days, 3 days? It is not working for India anymore.
Vaibhav, is it true that we were actually thinking of Border Gavaskar Trophy? New Zealand, yeah, it's a whitewash, doesn't matter. New Zealand, हम हरा देंगे. After Bangladesh, all of us were like, chalo, New Zealand 2-1, 2-0, one draw, fine, doesn't matter. Border Gavaskar Trophy, we have to win one, we have to win two. All of the thought was Border Gavaskar Trophy. Were we actually taking New Zealand a tad lightly? And that is because 12 years, no defeats on home soil invincibility. All of that added to this whole aura of India being invincible. And this is kind of a reality check. Is that a case in point?
See, nobody will admit this, but you have to accept that they were quite, looking far ahead to the Border Gavaskar trophy. Because see, at the end of the day, when the series is done and dusted, you can look back at many things. The Bangalore collapse, but what I will highlight is the collapses are being frequent. Like routinely, it is happening that we are being collapsed from whether it's 25 for 4, or whether it's 144 for 6, like we did, like the things happened in Chennai in the first test versus Bangladesh. So I think it's more about we are looking far ahead while our preparations with regards to our preparations as well. We are preparing bouncy tracks. In Chennai there was a bouncy track. Here we prepared 2 tracks of red soil. So yeah, the in regards to preparation, as far as the team management is concerned, I think we were obviously we are looking far ahead from ourselves. It's more about the Border Gavaskar trophy. We are trying to prepare decks so that batters get accustomed to the conditions in Australia. Those are bouncy tracks. That is why we are preparing red soil wickets. But at the hindsight, you have to admit that, see, we are preparing wickets, but need to admit that our batters, we don't play spin well, and it's right there. It's right there for everyone to see that we are not playing spin well. So if you go back in time before the start of the home test season, and you think that okay, the conditions we are preparing, we are actually preparing for the Border Gavaskar trophy, and New Zealand came, and New Zealand, Bangladesh both were there. Both teams came. We took both teams very lightly. Why? I'll give you an example. Because see, when New Zealand came, they were without Kane Williamson. So we were like, yeah, we can blank New Zealand 3-0. This was our theory. We took them very lightly. We were complacent. You have to admit that we were very complacent. As a batting unit, especially, we got very complacent that, okay, Ajaz Patel hasn't played a lot of test cricket. Mitchell Sander, he's not a regular in Test 11. Same goes with Ish Sodhi. So we were complacent as a batting unit. Bowlers did their job. They took 20 wickets, but we have to admit that we were very complacent against Bangladesh and against New Zealand as well in the home test season.
Rohit Juglan, if you have to think of Australia, first test match, Perth, what is your batting unit? Do you still go with the Sarfaraz Khan? Do you get a KL Rahul back? What is your batting unit? How do you kind of plan? India is not even now going to play the warm up game. They have said they will practice. वो खुद में practice करेंगे to get
Yes.
ready. Your thoughts on that?
That's again a very weird call, as far as BGT is concerned, because already you are 3-0 down here. You need, as Shubhanda rightly mentioned, that it's a very impossible kind of task now. You have to play the first test, then think, and the most important thing, what was the last question of the press conference, is whether Rohit Sharma attending the Perth test or not. So he said he's not 100% sure that whether he's going to attend that game or not. So first thing, we are still not sure about Rohit Sharma. Is he going to attend the Perth test match? According to media reports, he's not. And then you have to fit in Abhimanyu Ishwaran also there. Then Abhimanyu Ishwaran opening with Yashasvi Jaiswal. That means there is again, inexperience as far as playing international cricket is concerned. I'm not saying that Abhimanyu Ishwaran is not experienced. Tons of experience, already played 100 first-class games, 27 centuries, more than 7,000 runs. But as far as playing in Australia with international cricket, it's a debut game for him. And then after that, Yashasvi Jaiswal for the very first time, Shubman Gill, second tour. Then you have Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli, we all know what kind of form he is in right now. And after that, I am trusting KL Rahul. Before Sarfaraz Khan also, I'm very sure that what he did in Centurion, what he did in Cape Town, what he did 3 years ago in England, I think he was a very sure choice as far as foreign conditions are concerned. He was your best batter after Rishabh Pant, scored centuries, win you matches at different part of the world. So I think that will be my batting order. I won't trust Sarfaraz Khan there. I will trust KL Rahul. But for me, the biggest question still is Rohit Sharma going to attend the first Perth test? Because psychological also, it will
He said,
create a...
by the way, Rohit, sorry to interrupt. He did say that
No
he is
problem.
doubtful. He's not sure
Yeah.
whether he'll be going for the Perth test in the last question of the press conference.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned at the very start, that
That's what he
he's
said.
still a doubt.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he's very much doubtful. So what I am thinking is, my first thing is when I'm watching that playing 11, whether Rohit Sharma is there or not, because psychologically that guy will play a very huge role. If Rohit Sharma is not there, obviously mentally, be it in the wicket or as far as the team is concerned, it will be a weakness for Team India, I think, and a big setback.
Before I go to Atreo, Shubhan, just tell me this. So suppose Rohit is not there for the putt, does it mean that he's not even traveling now to Australia, or will he go and
Yes,
come back?
that
What is the deal?
no, 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 no. I think he will go first and then come back. He will go there and come back. That is the plan right now. He will go there,
Because
prepare
otherwise
with the
there is
team.
no acclimatization, no practice, no nothing. I mean, he can't just
Right,
go ahead of the
right,
second test and start
right,
playing, right?
right,
I mean,
right. Right.
so
So the plan is the plan is the team is supposed to leave in two batches, one on 10th and one on 11th. And Rohit will travel with the team on 10th. That is the initial plan. And if something changes, because it's a family issue, it's a personal issue. If it I'm not giving the exact thing, but it's a personal issue. If something changes, it's a date wise thing. So he will come back, attend that, and then again go back to Australia. So it could be for the first test, it could be second test, you never know. So, but he's still doubtful for the first test, is what he said.
fair enough. I mean, whatever it is, but the question
Yeah.
I was asking is he needs to go with the team to get ready for that Australia tour. Atreo, if Rohit Sharma is not there, Abhimanyu Ishwaran, who has clearly not looked the part from whatever I've seen in the tour game, and that replay, that continuous replay, and if you take a look at the major matches that he has played, Ranji Trophy final, any final except the Irani Cup, Abhimanyu Ishwaran hasn't really scored in these big games. Would you actually go in with an Abhimanyu Ishwaran with Yashasvi Jaiswal, test number one, Perth, four Australian fast bowlers coming at you? Or would you think of something else? Your thoughts, what should be India's opening combination? Because again, the openers set the tone. Yes, we have seen in the past Ravi Shastri play a gamble with Mayank Agarwal and Hanuma Vihari. Hanuma Vihari blunted that new ball in Melbourne. Did not score, scored 8. I was in the stadium. But Mayank Agarwal got a 50. Your thoughts, what should India's approach be if Rohit Sharma is not there?
I will not possibly go with Abhimanyu Ishwaran because of the very reasons that you mentioned. He doesn't really inspire confidence when it comes to international cricket, and that is why possibly he has not been included in the Indian team in the past. I mean, until this while, despite being a very very heavy scorer in domestic cricket. Uh, choices are limited. We don't have too many options at the moment. I will go for someone like Sudarshan. Sudarshan has opened in first class cricket. He has scored runs. He scored a double century in the Ranji Trophy as an opener. I think in the previous round, second or third round match, he scored a double hundred as an opener against Delhi, if I am not wrong. In a match where Washington scored 150 as the number three batter. So if and I will also not have Sarfaraz in the middle order. So if it's Rahul in the middle order in place of Sarfaraz, then we are left with two options. One is Gill and one is Ishwaran. So since Gill is trying to settle down at number three, I'll keep him there and I'll bring Sudarshan as an opener. It will be a gamble, yes, but I don't think we have too many choices at the moment.
Yeah,
I
go
have
on,
a
go
better
on,
idea. I have a better idea. Either open with, I think, yeah, either open with KL Rahul and Shubman Gill, bring in a Washington Sundar in your middle order. He looked extremely good. He is a man in form. He can give you an off spin option,
Jaiswal,
extra off
brother,
spin
Jaiswal.
option. Sorry?
What's with Jaiswal then? You open with Gill and Rahul, you
Huh?
said.
No, Jaiswal and Gill, either of Gill or Rahul, either of Rahul or Gill, bring in a Washington Sundar since you will be playing with only one spinner in Ravindra Jadeja. Bring in a Washington Sundar who can give you another option for day four, day five, what if the match goes till then. Washington Sundar can bat in the middle order, can play in the top of the order also. He looked really good in Mumbai Test also with the bat. and he scored 150, I think, against Delhi in the Ranji Trophy, the game he played. So he has looked very solid with the bat. So why not go with him? And you don't need to bring in a new face to for just one match.
I think if you ask me, I see Yashasvi Jaiswal opening with KL Rahul in Australia, because KL Rahul has faced the second new ball in South Africa. He opened. KL Rahul has done exceedingly well as an opener in some of the occasions. That fellow needs to sort his out thing in the mind, by the way. As a test match batter, despite his 34, KL Rahul looks much better against fast bowling compared to anyone. That is a fact, and you have to give it to him that when he plays fast bowling, and if you take that South Africa, that test match, against that attack in those conditions, someone who can get 100 has to have quality. KL Rahul is the best hammering boy as far as social media is concerned because of his white ball, not that much his red ball. And again, the problem is we bring in a red ball and kind of add it to the white ball thing. Bharat Ramraj, when yes, you did not want to take Pujara, and I understand it, that okay, why not Pujara at least as part of India A? Send Pujara as part of India A. Should have. See if Pujara was still successful with India A in Australia. If that guy is playing Ranji Trophy cricket, get him to Australia, his favorite hunting ground. Let him play these two games and see how Pujara did as part of India A. We got a couple of hundreds. Get him into the series. Do you think our selectors missed a trick there? Bharat Ramraj, why not Pujara playing for India A?
Yeah, at least in Australian conditions, India could have tried with him as a stopgap option. But again, I guess the problem Indian selectors had was they selected the team before this test series was over. Somewhere, perhaps they were confident that the Indian test team, the Indian batters will perform well here, and then they would have the kind of confidence to go to Australia. Uh, now it looks like that was a bad move. They could have selected the squad maybe right after the test series, final test got over. Yeah, Pujara could have gone to Australia with the India A squad. If not, if he had not even succeeded, that is also fine because he has the experience. So his experience would have been valuable for the youngsters in the India A lineup. They could have gained a lot out of what they could have gained a lot out of Pujara's wisdom of experience. So that is why India could have definitely selected an experienced player and got him to Australia. One more point I just want to add about Washington Sundar. We have been talking a lot about his batting, but don't forget his bowling. He has come up by leaps and bounds, I think, as far as his bowling is concerned. The kind of overspin is imparting, I've never seen Washington Sundar impart this kind of overspin over 5 6 years or whatever. So his bowling is also on an upward curve, definitely. So it's not just about his batting. So India definitely can look at him as an all-rounder.
So clearly, two options coming there. KL Rahul possibly coming in as an opener, which frees up the Sarfaraz Khan slot where Washington Sundar kind of slots in, which gives you the middle order batting, plus gives you economy. If first day Washington Sundar has to come and bowl 7 overs for 15 runs, he is more than capable of doing that. So that's the kind of shape that it's emerging. Let's focus a little bit on Gautam Gambhir. Gautam Gambhir is known for fight. Whatever said and done, very bad initiation into coaching, very bad. Make no mistake, 3-0 whitewash at its worst, can't get worse for Gautam Gambhir. But when I think of Gautam Gambhir, and I'm taken back to that conversation, 4 zeros on the trot, self doubt, pushes Manish Pandey in, go and bat for me. Manish Pandey gets out first ball, he realizes I chickened out, never did make that mistake, and the rest is history. Gautam Gambhir, all said and done, having known that guy for a long time, I've known Gautam Gambhir for a good 20 years. If I know that guy well, he will be hurt. His ego will be hurt. His pride will be hurt. His credibility will be hurt. And whatever he will want out of this team will be fight. I do see that happening with Australia. I do see go because if India loses in Australia and loses 4-0, I think it's the end of Gautam Gambhir and 7 test matches on the trot or 8 test matches on the trot. As a coach, it can't get worse. Thoughts on Gautam Gambhir?
Clearly, he's not started off on the right foot as he would have liked, as anyone would have liked to see. When he came in, there was so much talk around Gautam Gambhir, him being this big figure in the dressing room, and being potent enough to handle all the big stars in the dressing room. That is something that is completely different from what has happened. Clearly, there has been some tactical decisions. Rohit Sharma tried to defend, the management today in the press conference by saying that, it's the players who have to actually go out there and execute the plans. But in some ways, it looked like, the approach of the Indian batters was to go and just go gung ho from the get go. And I think that's where the approach sort of took us down, because there was I personally did not see any adaptability in the batting when it comes to batting. Even when the stocks were down, you didn't see anyone stick around except one or two players, except a Rishabh Pant today. And that's where we lost out. The top order completely collapsed, and it was all because of your own mistakes. It wasn't as if New Zealand bowled brilliantly every single time and got your wicket. No, we threw away a lot of wickets, and that's where I think the approach or the mentality that maybe Gautam Gambhir had instilled in the team is where we went wrong. But of course, we can't say, because we're not in that dressing room and we're not hearing what exactly is going on. But from the outside, it looks like that there was an aggressive approach, and there was an approach where the batters were needed to score a lot of runs very quickly, and that's where all the mistakes happened.
Ishan Shade, before I go to all my guests for closing comments, Ishan, you and Vaibhav, both of you take this question. What about the bowling? Is it now more or less done that it will be Bumrah, Siraj, and Akashdeep? Because for whatever reason, Siraj has been terribly inconsistent of late. Yes, Siraj was fantastic in the 2021 series. Siraj has the experience. Siraj did fabulously well in South Africa. So he has been, able to do things in the past. But for whatever reason, he's kind of not looked the Siraj that we want him to be. That may have impacted his mental this thing. But is it, at least for the Perth Test match, Siraj to go with Jasprit Bumrah and Akashdeep? Ishan, thoughts?
Murida, I think we'll have to back Siraj. Like you mentioned, he's done well in the past. He's possibly going through a lean patch at the moment. But this is someone who's won games for India as well. It's not like he hasn't. Bumrah will definitely lead that pace attack. But we'll have to back Siraj and Akashdeep, who has looked pretty impressive in this series as well. If you noticed, he's been generating good, decent pace, hitting the right areas, has gotten those early wickets as well. So these three will definitely be the priority. Making changes, obviously, we have someone like Prasidh Krishna, but under pressure in those conditions, will he be able to deliver will be the biggest question mark. So I wouldn't be gambling with Prasidh Krishna at the moment. If I have to stick, I'll stick with Siraj, back him, and hope that he can do well. Yeah, I think it's important to back your players to a certain degree and not just, possibly drop them after a poor show in a series or maybe even a couple. You got to stick with them throughout, and eventually you can hope that they'll do good for you. So I think Siraj has brought the goods in the past with Bumrah leading the attack. Hopefully he can come good. And yes, Boryada, if you ask me, I think we should back Siraj at the moment. He is someone who can cause trouble in those Australian conditions with the seaming ball. So backing Siraj would be the key.
Vaibhav, same question.
I'm in complete agreement with what Ishan has just said, because see, inexperience is something can hurt you in Australia. Okay, Harshit Rana is promising, same with Prasidh Krishna, but we have seen with Prasidh in South Africa that he was struggling in South Africa when he was bowling. Rohit likes him a lot. Prasidh Krishna, he rates him very highly. But I think I'll go with the same combination. I'll back Siraj just because he has done well in overseas, whether it's in England, South Africa, or Australia. His first 5-wicket haul came in Australia. So those good memories, and also you need to remember that the wickets that were he played in this home test season. Apart from the Bangalore wicket, I don't think there was much help for the fast bowler. So you have to bring that all in consideration, and you have to also remindful of the fact that he has done well in the overseas. Okay, his home record is not good, but you have to back Siraj when it comes to overseas conditions, and Akashdeep just because there are plenty of left-handed options in Australian batting lineup, and we know how Akashdeep can be lethal, going around the wicket and bringing the ball back in to the left-handers. I think it will be a deadly combination. Siraj, Bumrah going over the wicket, and Akashdeep going from around the wicket. So I think it will be a great trio. They just have to back, and Siraj is more of a rhythm bowler. When he gets into a rhythm, he can rattle any batting lineup in the world. So it's more about Siraj getting that rhythm back. The more overs he will bowl in Australia, I think it will help him.
Each one of you, 1 minute closing comments. Rohit Juglan, this whole thing about not playing the warm up game, we will practice. We have seen this in the past, not new. We will practice
Can I
because
start because they are closing the press box? I'll just quickly
okay, then
comment and leave.
you give me your 1 minute and close. The fact that we are not playing that practice game, Shubhan, we will practice your thoughts on that.
Rohit was asked this question today, and the thought process behind not playing a practice game. He said we want to in practice games. If you get out, you can't bat anymore. If you can't bowl longer spells. And in net sessions you can bat as long as possible. You can have your bowlers whom you want to fine tune the bowling department. You can bowl longer spells in the nets as well. You can rest, you can relax as per the workload thing you are managing for the 5 test series. But I think had Indian the main team lost to India A, then their confidence would have been in tatters. And I think having a net practice is the best way possible. Of course, they will be playing Prime Minister's 11 before the Adelaide pink ball test. But not having any sort of they had one more match scheduled with the club side, which I think they have cancelled it because they are not getting more than 3 days to practice at the Waka. They will be practicing at the Waka, by the way, which is very similar to the Optus Stadium that is there. So let's see what happens. But right now, the Australian series, ahead of the Australian series, in the build up to the series, this team does not inspire a lot of confidence. And god save us, because Australia, as I said earlier, they will be licking their lips, and Pat Cummins and all the players, what happened in the last two series, they will be pumped to defeat this Indian team, and with a huge margin, in a dominating way.
Rohit Juglan, I let Shubhan go twice in the past. Ahead of Australia series, we had said this team has no chance. One in 2003-4, Jayant Lele, our board secretary, said, boss 3-0. All of us remember Saurav Ganguly's team went to Australia, that 144, changed everything. India was 1-1, could have won that series. Last series, 2021, no players injured, this, that, COVID. India did what it did and won that series. So it's not as if we have not been written off in the past. Against Australia, we have been one team. Since that 2003-4 series, we have always competed. 2003-4 one each. 2007-8, that Monkey Gate Test match, that Test series 2-1. Incredible win in Perth. Sean Tate. Again, I've been there from that 2003 right up to all of these series except the COVID one. India has been one team that has continuously competed in Australia except 2012 when we were blown away. Even 2012, at one point, Australia was 24 for 4 in Melbourne. That match, we could have sort of, had we been able to push that game, things could have changed. Rohit Juglan, can we hope that this Indian side pulls itself back and does something fantastic in Australia?
As you always called me, Burada, that you are always so optimistic. So I'll stand to that. The optimism is very high. And as far as yeah, these players are concerned, I'm very much optimistic that they will pull off a miracle there, because starting from Perth, we have players, many players in this Indian dressing room who have experienced, in last couple of tours, what it take to win in Australia, especially when everyone in the world, the Michael Vaughns, the Michael Clarks, and of course all the other players who have continuously said that, oh, now Virat Kohli is gone, Mohammed Shami had a fractured arm, and now your bowling and your batting is literally deteriorating as you are, going up into the series. Everyone is saying not possible, and then what had happened, we see 36 all out, and then nobody has given us chance. But we pulled off a miracle at that point of time under the captaincy of Ajinkya Rahane. And I'm not only from the past, but with this team also, I think, playing to the bounce, I told it in the earlier show also, that, playing to bounce, I think these guys are little more comfortable as far as swing and playing spin are concerned. If you ask me that, in what scenario you make them, giving them a fight in Australia, I think bounce will be at the top. Then I think swing will be at number 2, and currently spin is at the at the very last. If you ask me that, skill wise, playing spin is most difficult for these batter rather than swing, and then of course seam.
Yeah, I mean, my point taken there. After when I think of this nomad debate, why journalists afraid of asking tough questions? Because they are being scared of black. No, we are asking all the hard questions. I mean, I agree with Nomad Tibet that there are journalists in this country who masquerade as cheerleaders, and there are many like that because all of us were guilty of that. If I think of myself today, we don't care, and I tell all my people, all my colleagues that the thing is, unfortunately, in India, that's how it has been. You think, oh, I will spoil my relationship with X source or Y cricketer and will not get this interview and will not happen. What these and that's where the objectivity gets lost, and that has been the bane of Indian cricket for the longest time. What my learning from my 2 year ban was, you don't need them. You just need to be true to your work. If you are true to your work, you can ask the right questions. We are saying it was a horrendous defeat. We are saying that the top two batters in Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli were bad. We are saying that India was ranked bad. We are saying that the management got it wrong. We are saying that the captaincy was poor. What else? What are the hard questions? These are the hard questions, bro. And we are asking all. We will ask all. You know what? I was telling a couple of my colleagues that this presents us with an opportunity to ask the questions. Because I was actually checking Twitter accounts of a number of these journalists who masquerade as cheerleaders, and you will hardly see those questions. Just go check. You know them. You know who we are talking about. We don't even need to mention them here. But that's how it is. You cannot be a glorified extension of the Indian cricket team. Then you're not a journalist. It's as simple as that. And that's why we need to change we have to stand and ask the hard questions and be counted. That's as simple as that. So good that you pointed it out. Atra Mukhopadhyay, the point that Rohit Juglan made, when I think of Tendulkar, 2003, poor start, Melbourne, poor start. Then that patience of 241 in Sydney, an innings of incredible character. Whatever it is, he doesn't look nice. He looks ugly. Brad Williams sledges him. Nathan Bracken sledges him. And yet 10 hours and 36 minutes. And he comes back to the dressing room and tells Deep Dasgupta, did you notice what happened? And Deep says, what? And he said, I did not play a single cover drive of 11 hours of batting. Can Virat Kohli do that?
My answer is no. Muria, my answer is no, because when we talk about batting and batsmanship, we must leave Sachin Tendulkar aside and then talk about others. This doesn't demean the others. This doesn't make the other batters lesser mortals. But when we talk about batting, let's not talk about Tendulkar. When we talk about sprinting, we don't talk about Usain Bolt. You can't compare an Usain Bolt with anybody else. So you shouldn't compare Sachin with anybody else. To answer your question, in simple words, I don't see that happening, because if that is the specific question.
Let me rephrase it. Do you see Virat Kohli standing up in Australia? Forget Tendulkar. Do you see Virat Kohli standing? I do. I am saying it on this platform today. I see Virat Kohli standing up and being counted and making a difference in Australia, whatever he may have to.
That is what I'm saying. Since your question was whether Virat can do a Tendulkar, I said no. But whether Virat can stand up, 100%. No doubt about that. He is a batsman of true character. He's a batsman of very, very rare qualities. He's mentally very, very strong, physically very, very stable, and he will take this with a lot of pinch. He will take this New Zealand disappointment to his heart, and he'll very, very keen to come back very, very strong. So that is, if you ask whether Virat Kohli will be able to stand up to the challenge, my answer is 100% yes.
I entirely agree with Atreyu here, entirely. And I take his point that no one can be a Tendulkar in red ball, but I am very, very confident that Virat Kohli will make a difference in Australia. Bharat Ramraj, when I say that, I'm not so confident about some of our younger batters, and that's why I made the point about Sarfaraz Khan. I am confident of Virat Kohli. I am confident of KL Rahul. I am confident of Shubman Gill. Your thoughts, Bharat Ramraj? Because he's not there for the first test. Assume. That's why. But I'm also confident of Rohit Sharma, because I know mentally Rohit Sharma is tough. All he needs to do is trust his defense, go back to the nets and play hundreds of balls in red ball cricket and trust his defense, because they will not give him balls outside off. They will bowl him stump to stump. They will bowl him in that channel. He needs to trust his defense. Bharat Ramraj.
Yeah, see, when it comes to younger batters, so like Sarfraz Khan, see, his game is based on playing a lot of shots behind square on the offside or behind square on the onside. So he plays a lot of shots. He can irritate the bowlers, but technique is something that's never been his strength. Even if you look at how he got out to Matt Fisher in the England Lions versus India game, or you can go back to Vidwat Kavarappa getting him out LBW. He has always had a problem with nip packer. He has had a problem with short ball. So it's technically never someone who's really good. Someone like Jaiswal, yeah, he plays a lot of shots. But again, he's someone who has that trigger. I know Michael Vaughan came under criticism when he said that in Australian conditions, he could get caught out in the slip cordon. But actually, he's right because he's a back foot trigger. And it has been something that has worried him in South Africa when Andrew Berger got him out. So yeah, few of the younger batters don't really trust their defense. But when they go to Australia, when they play the opening overs, Kokabara ball definitely over first 20 overs, it will definitely seam around. After that, the ball gets soft and then it becomes easier to bat. But the first 20 overs, it will definitely seam around the Kokabara or red ball. So it's key for the batters to trust their defense, including Rohit Sharma, obviously. Again, see moment, even if it means 20, 30 deliveries, if he can look ugly, that's fine. But he just needs to wait through those first 20 30 deliveries and then get that little bit of feel for batting and then perhaps play a few shots. I'm pretty sure he knows what to do, but he just has to put it into practice. But as far as young batters are concerned, a lot of them don't have the defense. The one who has the defense, obviously, is not young now, KL Rahul. Hopefully will convert that potential into a lot of runs in Australia because he definitely has the game to play against the seaming ball in Australia, South Africa, or the swinging ball in England.
Ishan Shan, if I was KL Rahul, I would be looking at this Australia series as make. This is the make. I've got an opportunity. I can be a real star. Score a couple of hundreds, put my hand up, and say, hello, this is what I am as a test match batter. We've seen people do that in the past. 2013-14, Virat Kohli 400s. After that horrendous England series, putting his hand up and scoring. If KL Rahul does that, it is the make of KL Rahul. Ishan Shane.
It's now or never, Burya. I think the opportunity is right there. It's his time to possibly get out there and shine. So been so much talk about him not being at his best, but like we all mentioned, KL Rahul is a batter who likes the Australian conditions, possibly in a more favorable way compared to the other batters. So this is his chance actually to go out there, get some runs, and if he does it, Burya, it changes the whole script for him. Starting off next, everything's going to change for him. So no better opportunity for him to go out, get some runs, take the onus on himself, take that pressure on himself, possibly open the innings and do well for his side and for himself, because there's so much talent around KL Rahul. He's filled with talent. He's filled with all the skills that are needed to perform. Like you mentioned, it might just be a mental block, something that's stopping him, something that's restricting him from unleashing a totally different beast. And maybe, hopefully, that can be unleashed in Australia. If it does, then great on him, and maybe this Indian team has a fair chance, Boryada.
If it is possible, can I add one small thing on KL Rahul? Yeah. Recently, I was at the stadium watching a Dilip Trophy game where KL Rahul obviously was battling against Yes Tayal. They had left some grass on the surface, so it was doing a little bit at the Chinnaswamy. It seemed like KL Rahul was searching too much for perfection in that particular game, how he was trying to get his bat inside the line at the nth moment against Yes Tayal from round the wicket. I think that could be one of his problems, that he perhaps gets too intense, searching too much for perfection. Just play your game, perhaps play your natural game, and you might end up doing well.
Vaibhav, your thoughts on Jasprit Bumrah? Opportunity again, captain. No Rohit Sharma first test match. All of a sudden, define it. Go leading this side. Did not have a good initiation in England when he was captain in that one-off match. This is his opportunity again. World's best bowler. Come on, Perth conditions, can't ask for better. Lead from the front and make a difference, Vaibhav.
As a leader, I think you have to make a difference. And Jasprit Bumrah is such character that he likes to lead. That's why he's the vice captain. And if Rohit doesn't play the first test, then obviously he has to step in. And there is no doubt in my mind that he will do well in Australia. He has all the skills that a bowler. He is one of the best, if not the best bowler in all conditions, in all formats. So Jasprit Bumrah will be licking his lips. I think he'll be raring to go in the first test if he gets an opportunity to lead. It's more about the batting unit that needs to support the bowling group, because we have the bowling that can take 20 wickets in a test. The question is whether we can score runs, whether we can score big runs, whether we can score 300 plus, 400 plus. Because if if we bat like the way we did in the last 5 tests, we will be blown away. There's no question about it. We will be blown away. Forget WTC final. We are not even winning the test series. So it's more about Jasprit Bumrah and fast bowling group getting the support of the batters if we have to win the test series.
Final comments, Gargi Raut. We'll close the show with you. We've had a 1 hour discussion, and I think it was a constructive discussion. It was no ranting. People gave suggestions, really good suggestions, good discussion on practically every player. And this is what we will continue over the next 3 days or 4 days, because it's very critical. In Indian cricket, the funny thing is, with every defeat, the interest grows. With every defeat, more people will follow the sport. There will be a lot more abuse. When they win, no. But now you will see a lot more interest. Lot more interest. That is the funny part of Indian cricket. It's strange. It's very strange. Nomad Tibet. Bhai, I'm not talking about Rev Sport specifically. I'm talking about press conference room in general. Why don't Virat show? Virat will not, because it was Rohit's thing. Nomad Tibet. Rohit is the captain. He needs to come to the post-match presser, which he did. It is the team management's call. So ahead of the test match, Gautam Gambhir came, and you have to give it to him that Rohit showed up multiple times. At the end of every defeat, he did show up, and he took the thing on his chest, saying it was his fault. So I don't think Virat copped up or anything. I don't think that is the case, because if there is reason for criticism, and I know you are not talking about Rev Sports per se. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is there is this thing in Indian sports writing that you kind of become an extension of the cricket team. That is a problem. You have to ask your critical questions. You have to. And you have to stand up, and if a player talks back at you, you talk back. Because I tell my people one simple thing. If Rohit or Virat knows how to bat best, you know how to do your job best. Write best, speak best. They are not as good as you are. That's why you are doing this job. And they are doing what they are. Simple. So you are on an even keel when you're asking your questions. That's what your job is. Nothing more. Kargi Raut, closing comments.
Well, all I can think about right now is obviously the Australian, the Border Gavaskar series, and it's even though it's not very far away, it still raises a lot of questions and a lot of doubts about where the Indian team is standing right now. When it comes to the batting, I don't think in the recent past or even in the past a few years I've seen the Indian batting lineup look so shaky for some reason. I'm not saying that they're bad batters or they can't turn things around, but this is the first time where I've seen that from being in the trenches, Indian batters are unable to turn the game around, and that's something that India has the capability to do. We've seen that before, and it's something that we're not seeing right now. And if that changes, I think we have a lot to look forward to. These are not players who don't know how to play. These are one of the best you'll find in world cricket, and they just need to find that it just needs to click. It just needs to click, and once it does, I think we have a lot to look forward to. But at the same time, when you look at the Australian series, is it realistic for us to think that the Australians will let you win 4-0?
No. World Test Championship is not even in the realm of possibility. I'm not even getting there. Let's take the Australia series as an Australia series. You play, come on, go win in Australia. All of this will be forgotten. Forget about WTC.
Absolutely.
So I'll finish the show. Kohli 18 abuses Atra, saying whatever off old man, and PA hai kya, etc., etc. Exactly what our point is. Because we were asking the hard questions, Kohli 18, you're a troll, you masquerade as a fan, and if any hard question is asked, you will abuse. This is exactly what trolling is all about, and all of us know it. Between Atre and I, we don't even care. We don't even care. Rohit Juglan loves it. Every night I see he posts one line and goes to sleep. I love that attitude. I absolutely love that attitude. This is how it should be. So you can keep saying what it is. We will keep asking the hard questions. Thank you very much for watching, folks. We will come back every single day asking the hard questions. Thanks for watching.